There are moments in life when we long for something deeper than just being heard. We want to be understood, not just for the words we say, but for what we really mean beneath them. We hope that our words will touch something in the heart of the person in front of us, that they will feel what we are trying to express, even if we are struggling to say it. But many times, we rush. We rush to explain. We rush to convince. We try to be right. And in doing that, we forget a simple truth, that real connection doesn't begin with logic. It begins with the heart. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna shares a line that feels quiet on the surface, but carries deep power underneath. He says, "He is a perfect yogi who regards all beings as equal." At first glance, it may sound like a lesson about fairness, or about seeing everyone the same. But if you stay with it a little longer, you'll notice something more. Krishna is pointing toward emotional clarity. He's showing us that when you truly see all beings as equal, not just in theory, but in how you carry yourself, everything about your presence changes. You stop trying to win. You stop trying to fix people. You stop needing to prove anything. Instead, you begin to speak from a different place, not to be right, but to be real. Imagine this. You are sitting across from someone who disagrees with you, maybe deeply. It could be your father, your sibling, a friend who once understood you, but now feels far away. They say something you don't agree with, maybe even something that hurts. Your instinct is to react. But then, you pause. You remember what Krishna said. You look past their words, past the sharp tone, and try to feel what's really there. Because beneath every strong opinion, there's usually a fear. Beneath every sharp sentence, there's often a part of someone that hasn't been met with enough understanding. And once you begin to feel that, even just a little, your whole way of responding shifts. You stop needing to correct them. You start choosing presence over pressure. This is what Krishna showed, not only in his teachings, but in how he lived. He didn't try to overpower people with big speeches. He didn't need to prove he was right. He listened. He waited. And when he did speak, his words felt calm. And somehow, they cut through all the noise. Because people don't change when you push them. They change when they feel seen. We often try to bring change through reasoning. We quote facts. We raise our voice, just slightly, hoping it will sound stronger. We put energy into making others understand us. But understanding is not the same as awakening. And awakening doesn't happen through pressure. It happens through connection. When Arjuna fell apart on the battlefield, confused, emotional, completely overwhelmed, Krishna didn't respond with judgment. He didn't interrupt or try to fix him. He simply stayed. He listened. He allowed Arjuna to break open. And only when Arjuna was ready, only when his heart was open, Krishna began to speak. That's what emotional wisdom looks like. Not rushing to respond, but waiting for the right moment to offer something true. Not pushing for change, but trusting the timing of it. So often, we want to help the people we love. We want to guide them, support them, show them something they can't yet see. But real influence doesn't come from force. It comes from stillness. From presence, from being able to sit beside someone, even in their confusion, without trying to fix them. That's how Krishna moved through the world. Quiet, but powerful. Gentle, but unshakable. And because he stayed rooted in that space, his words reached deeper than most people's actions ever could. This kind of influence doesn't always get noticed right away. It doesn't come with applause. But it plants something. It changes something in the people around you, even if they don't say it out loud. And so, if someone in your life is stuck in anger, or fear, or old pain, try not to ask, "How do I make them see?" Instead, ask, "How can I love them more clearly?" Because when love is steady and honest, it begins to open doors that pressure could never touch. We sometimes think influence means having the final word, that it means others must agree with us. But Krishna teaches something more subtle. Real influence is when your calm becomes their calm, when your clarity reminds them of their own. That kind of presence only comes when you begin to see through the eyes of equality. When you can look at someone, no matter what they believe, no matter how they behave, and recognize the same light in them that you see in yourself. That doesn't mean we ignore what's harmful. It doesn't mean we stay silent when something's wrong. It simply means we don't let the differences blind us to the deeper unity underneath. Even when people reject your kindness, even when they speak carelessly, even when they misunderstand your silence, your response doesn't have to be hard. It can stay soft, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to stay grounded in your truth. Krishna didn't offer his wisdom only when people agreed with him. He offered it when it was needed, even when others couldn't yet receive it fully. He didn't measure his words based on how people reacted. He stayed true to his nature, and that's what made his presence feel so powerful. So let your presence be like that, gentle, but steady, clear, but kind. Even when it's hard, even when no one seems to notice, hold your ground in compassion. Because people remember how you made them feel. They remember who stayed soft, even when things got difficult. They remember who listened, even when others only spoke. And over time, your presence begins to do something very real. It changes the space around you. Not through arguments, not through force, but through the quiet strength of someone who sees all beings as worthy, who speaks with care, who loves without needing applause. Let that be your offering. Let that be your way of walking through the world. Not loud, not demanding, but full of the kind of quiet clarity that lasts. Because in the end, it's not about winning the debate. It's about leaving behind a deeper peace, the kind that stays, even after the words are gone.